Welcome back to the STGeek podcast with AJ, Peter, and John. How are you doing? Thanks so much for listening back. We have quite a few topics today. A lot of news this week, right, guys?
Yep, that is
news,
correct.
news,
Lots of news.
Oh, cha. Peter, what should we start with?
Okay, let's go with Disney is in early talks to reboot the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, or at least that's what I wrote down when I first read the story. As of, I think, yesterday, it actually is confirmed that they are going to reboot the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, which I think is great, because those movies kind of suck right now.
Yeah, not kind of. They're terrible.
They're kind of terrible. The first one's good, and then they're kind of bad.
Downhill, yes.
The first one's the best one, hands down, and then they get worse and worse as they progress.
And they keep going. They won't die.
Yeah,
they won't stop.
How do you kill this franchise? You can't.
It's just like the Transformers franchise.
Oh,
they're
my
terrible,
God.
but they make money, so the
Keep it
studio
going,
was going to
yeah.
keep making them.
Like Davy Jones, he is kind of undead, but still continues his journey.
Yep,
It's ridiculous. Yeah,
so
I feel you.
I hope that's good. We shall see. Okay, next topic is. Let's just go straight past that.
No love.
Nope.
Okay, go on.
Bane is going to appear in the Gotham TV show.
This might be another quick news bit.
Yeah. Anybody watch that?
No, not at all.
Not personally.
Me neither.
no.
Okay,
care
moving
for
on.
it.
I will say that I've seen the photos and he looks fucking ridiculous.
Is he skinny? Is he buff?
He's pretty buff, but he kind of looks. I don't know.
Does he have a voice?
I don't. They've only shown the photos of him in the. Do you want to see it real quick? We just pull it up.
Can I pretend he still has the voice? Oh, look at that! What the fuck is that on his chest?
That's
What the hell?
That's Bane.
Is he supposed to be a robot?
Yeah, he kind of looks like Robo Bane a little bit.
I don't
Like
know.
the face mask
that-
looks okay, but the chest piece
Is there
I'm not
leather
really a fan
on
of.
his shoulders? Oh, he's the Terminator.
Kind of looks like
Oh
Anakin.
damn!
He kind of looks like Darth Vader, like Anakin.
Yeah,
What the fuck
not
is
quite
going
as
on?
egg-headed, but yeah, I'm still a little bit of an egghead though.
Yeah.
This is terrible.
You know, we
It's
should probably
pretty
shouldn't. I shouldn't
probably
talk that
should
way about the
record
actor. What if we ever get the chance to like interview him one day?
Whatever.
So I
I'm
heard
gonna
you said I
tell
have an
him it's
egghead.
terrible.
Yeah, that was a horrible
Do you see
choice.
this picture?
It's not your fault. It's
Awful.
makeup and outfitting. God damn.
You have lost a viewer.
Right. Oh.
Yeah, so that's the thing.
Yeah, okay.
Interesting. I mean, I hope it's a fun arc for everyone that enjoys the show.
Yeah, who knows? I don't know. I've heard good things about that show. I've heard it's
seems
not
fun.
that bad. But I don't watch it, so I don't care.
How long has it been going on for? Years now, right?
Like 4 or 5, maybe. I don't
shit.
know. I know there's people are mad about the Joker because the Joker's there, but he's not there, and then he's there again. I don't know. It's a thing.
Comes and goes when he pleases.
Something
I mean,
like-
it sounds like the Joker, but it also seems like just very cheap way of doing things as far as the show running goes.
Okay, spoiler alert for Gotham if you give a shit. So apparently
don't.
there's a character there's a character, I think his name's Jeremy, who they built up to be the Joker, and then they kill him. And then
You find out it's like his twin or some shit, right?
his twin brother comes
Oh
into
my
the show,
God,
and then he's the
that's
Joker,
awful.
and they also call him Jeremy or something. I don't know. Again,
That's
I don't watch
Wow.
the show, but
Seems like a cheap cop out.
It's
I
so
don't know.
cheap.
yeah.
Terrible.
So yeah, Bane in Gotham. Maybe he'll be better than the Joker. We'll see.
Might be better than the movie. You never know.
So it's a little bit
Doubt
of
it.
esports news. Michael
cool.
Jordan has invested in Team Liquid's parent company.
Okay.
Team Liquid being a very big esports presence, I'll say. So
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
When we were first talking about like topics for this episode, and you mentioned that, I liked reading it, but I was surprised because I didn't originally read Michael Jordan. When I actually heard was that it was actually Drake that also
yeah.
was investing in esports
Really?
as well.
Okay, I didn't hear that.
There's actually a lot of hip hop artists and sports stars that are actually investing more in that as well. So yeah, pretty cool to see that Michael Jordan's in it. I didn't know someone of his age or generation was actually doing that as well. I was less surprised by Drake, even though that was kind of interesting to hear. But for someone Michael Jordan's, I guess, age range, for him to be into that. But I mean, he probably has financial advisors, kids, obviously. So
Yeah.
it makes
Yeah,
sense.
no.
I think that's
I
cool,
think-
though.
Still a really cool thing to see. Yeah.
It's. I mean, I don't know if you guys heard about Echo Fox, right?
What about Echo Fox?
They fucking let go of 6, 7 people from the FGC.
For people that don't know what the FGC is or what Echo Fox is, how would you describe it?
Well, FGC is the fighting game community. I think we may have brought that up in the first episode.
Probably.
But we enjoy
listeners.
playing fighting games. We go to tournaments, make Peter salty. AJ sucks.
Why am I insulted now?
And Well, I'm salty too, but I can't make myself look bad.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm not salty, but don't single me out. For being salty.
Are you getting salty right now, Peter? Right. Keep that salt off of me. And then Echo Fox is just an esports organization that hires these guys to play. And they let go of basically everybody in the FGC, the fan game community, except for Justin Wong,
Sonic
Fox, and then the Kill Stage. But yes. I have a feeling that has
the
something
biggest names in the FGC.
I feel like with him, it has to do with Sonic Fox. Because they're best friends. I don't know if you know that. He's very open about that.
He's a good player, though. He's a really good player.
He's great, but I mean, they let go of the alpha. I'm not a big fan of Punk the God, but he's good. He's good. He made top 8 at Canada Cup. I don't know the results, but he made top 8.
That's cool.
Was a runner-up. Was it last year in Street Fighter 5 or was it the year before?
No, yeah, he kind of sucked the last 2 years.
Oh,
he wasn't doing as well.
At least he's stepping up his game this year, though.
But he's doing better. I wonder if that has to do with that patch that just came out where they made leniency better. I don't know if you heard about that.
I did hear about that. It's stupid, insane, good now.
Yeah, you can actually react.
Oh, wow. There's not 5 frames of lag anymore?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow. So the latency is way better.
Way better.
Oh, apparently. I didn't think they were going to do that, but maybe enough pros complained after a while.
They've been complaining for 4 years.
Better late than never, I guess.
So, going back to the main subject, they let go of that division, and then I know it was a different one where it was I don't know, it was a first-person shooter, but they let go of the entire team.
Wow.
So that happened.
Esports as a whole is still a very new thing.
Yeah, it's evolving.
It's been around for give or take about 10 years now.
But that's not that long.
But
you compare it to actual sports.
Yes, exactly.
So it's still pretty new. I'm very happy that somebody of Michael Jordan's caliber has taken an interest in this. But I really hope that they figure this stuff out and and that this is here to stay, and it's not so much of a fad because it's something that we all enjoy.
Yes.
It's a sport, guys. It's official.
I mean, look at it.
If chess is a sport,
don't at me.
If chess is in the
don't at me.
Then this
I don't
see why this wouldn't be.
I don't see this ending anytime soon. Only for the fact that everyone, not just kids, not people under the age of 18, but adults, full-grown adults in their 40s, 50s, and beyond know what Fortnite is, or they know what the name Fortnite is. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So I mean, video games are exploding completely. I mean, you hear records of League of Legends outselling, the championships, outselling huge sporting events like the Super Bowl and such, NBA Finals and such. Mm-hmm. So it's cool to see that such
nerds
things
are here to take over.
Yeah, it's happening slowly but surely. I used to be called crazy for it, and I'm not. They're not wrong either.
You're
but
still crazy, man.
Yes. That's not to be argued. But at least the sense that video games and esports is becoming such a huge thing to where all-star basketball players and the highest grossing hip-hop artists of all time are investing money and their time into it. It's something to keep in mind of, for sure.
Yeah. Highest grossing of all time. Did you just pull that off the top, or is that a fact?
Drake he's the highest...
he has some records under his...
Yeah, he has the most listened to artists on Spotify.
I mean...
Are you guys... Oh, God.
I'm
not arguing with you guys, but...
It's the truth.
I like Drake. I don't have a problem
He's cool.
with Drake.
I mean, he's not my cup of tea, but...
He's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like... Me and AJ always talk about this.
It's
Bruno Mars is a great subject topic. He's a great artist, but his music's whatever to me.
Yeah, exactly. It's catchy.
It's catchy.
And it catches the main audience.
Bruno Mars is a gift from God.
Oh my God.
How dare you? Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars is great. Drake is great.
I'm just kidding. I'm not that big a fan. I do like Bruno Mars.
He has music that's catchy. You can't say it's not.
It's
Same thing with
undeniably
Drake.
very catchy.
Then there's some stupid shit out there that it's
It is objectively decent music at least. But I'm just saying, it's very cool to see that people that are so successful are putting their money towards something that they want to see become even more successful and just be on the forefront of it as well. To see that investors, again, with that kind of money, putting their time and effort toward it, who's to say, I can't wait to see, I should say, where esports goes from here.
True that. I will put my feelings for Drake and your feelings for Bruno Mars aside, and I will agree with what you just said. Moving on.
Yes.
So, there is a rumor about the Eternals movie that Marvel is making. I think it's due to come out in 2020, 2021, something like that.
I'm not surprised. I mean, they have to...
that's not the rumor.
Oh.
The rumor is...
Tell me more.
Yes, that it actually takes place millions of years in the past. So it will technically be the first entry in the MCU timeline. Do you guys? Well, do you guys know much about the Eternals?
I know that they came over, they experimented, right?
You're close. It's very similar to the Inhumans backstory in that the Celestials were the ones that it came to Earth and started experimenting on humans, and then thus created the Eternals. Gotcha. So, as the name implies, they're pretty much invincible. They're pretty much gods. So the fact that this might take place millions of years ago makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah, and I know they're going to spin it off to the X-Men, because I know the X-Men are related to that whole story, right?
I didn't remember it until you just mentioned it, but I believe you are correct.
Oh, interesting.
You do think they retconned it and tied the X-Men, the X-Gene back to the Eternals or something like that.
So because they experimented on people, some people became Eternals, other ones, their powers lay dormant for thousands of years.
Until the X-Gene became effective?
Basically, yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So that's cool.
So I'm sure that's why they're doing it. It's the perfect way to tie in the X-Men.
Yeah, it's a good excuse for it to happen. I'm happy. I'm ready for it to happen.
It's not them just shoving it in. It's, oh shit, mutants have been around.
And if they dedicate at least a whole film toward the origin of it, at least it won't feel as shoehorned.
I think it's going to be like a...
It will be like the beginning
a
of it.
Captain Marvel in the Avengers ending where it's kind of a tease.
I see.
Right.
Or maybe the first 5 minutes of an X-Men film, maybe we'll show that little recap happen, and then jump to present day where X-Men are a thing now.
But
Who knows?
I wonder if it's going to tie into... I don't know if you guys heard this, and I only know a little bit about it, but basically everybody was predestined to become superheroes, like Spider-Man already had the gene in him, but he needed the bite to activate it. And the same thing with Bruce Banner, where he already kind of had the Hulk in him, but he needed the Gamma to actually make it.
I thought that was only in that shitty Ang Lee movie. Was that canon in the comic books?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, shit.
I might be wrong. Look it up.
Yeah, please look it up.
Peter's saying this. It's not John.
Yeah.
And at him. At Peachy Chava.
Damn it.
And
I was hoping you didn't remember
let him know
my
how
Twitter.
wrong he is. And yeah. So I'm kind of excited about that. But I wonder if they're going to kind of tie that in. Or
Sounds fun. Again, it sounds like the perfect excuse to make X-Men happen.
Captain Marvel makes kind of more sense.
Wait,
Maybe
what?
maybe they'll tie her into that too, or maybe she's an Eternal or whatever.
They might. Who knows? I don't know.
She is like a god out of all the MCU characters.
They can
I guess.
do a lot of things with the Captain Marvel movie at this point. There's a lot of different directions they can take it. We'll see. We shall see.
Cool.
All right. Any other thoughts on that?
No, move on.
Okay, good. Moving on.
Yeah,
So,
I hope it's great.
it's been announced by DC that if you guys have seen the Teen Titans Go to the Movies, the post-credit scene to that, it teased something of a Teen Titans original, if you want to call it that. The original Teen Titans show, something of a revival.
That's pretty tight.
And DC has announced that there's going to be something that they call Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans.
See, that'll make my money. They can take my money for that any day.
So here's the thing. They haven't said what that is. They haven't said if that's going to be an ongoing show, if it's going to be a movie, if it's going to be a one-off episode in the Teen Titans Go show. Like we have no idea what that is. But in some small way, the original Did you guys ever watch that show, by the way?
Not Go, but the original series.
Yes, that's the one I mean. Go's fun for what it is, but
exactly.
Teen Titans...
They went for it, and it's a good went for it.
For what it is, very
it's
humorous.
Fun. Yes.
That's
very
exactly
humorous.
what it is. It's good.
But the Teen Titans was great, and I loved it so much, and I was very upset when they didn't continue it for just out of the blue.
Right, great blend of humor, but also it had its dark moments for sure.
Yeah. It was
like you
100%.
feel bad for Raven, for Robin's past, and everything like that. Beast
The whole
Boy was
Terra
kind of
storyline with Beast Boys.
Exactly,
It
gets you right in the
their heart.
feels.
I actually
But you love the
watched that
characters so
episode
much.
yesterday.
Yeah.
And yet, Go is more just like humor, joke, punchline. I mean, in fun action and good art style, not too different.
It's pretty
from the
cool how they
original,
can
but-
actually do that. How they can go from serious tone to funny tone and pull it off. Just
Have you guys seen the episode of Teen Titans Go where they watch the entirety of the original
Are you
Teen
serious?
Titans series?
I have
It's
not
not
seen
the
that.
entirety. They have a. I don't remember his name.
It's like a little flash.
They talk about what about if I tell you there was a more serious show of you guys?
Yeah,
God,
and-
who was the villain who did that?
It was some weird fanboy character. I don't remember his
Interesting.
name. But yeah, he basically shows the Teen Titans Go Titans, the original series, and then they're all just like, God, this is so good, and they're all just enamored by it, and they watch the whole thing straight through, and then they're just like, wait, that's how it ends? Even they get pissed off. It's pretty.
Yeah.
It's a really good episode and a really good joke. I don't know. It's just so clever the way they
Good little
pulled
fourth
that
wall
off.
breaker. if you will.
Exactly.
Gotcha. That sounds
Anyway,
awesome.
so that's whatever that ends up being. That's being a thing. That's a thing.
Hopefully more than a TV special, but even if it is that, we're gonna watch it.
Yep,
That sounds awesome.
The Teen Titans we knew and love are coming back in some way.
Yeah.
That's a good thing, no matter which way.
But
you
that's a
spin it.
thing to do right now.
Sure.
Yeah.
Doing that with so many other things, why not?
All right, so one last topic for me. So much news, so many topics.
A little bit.
So the actress that starred in the Netflix TV show 13 Reasons Why has allegedly been cast in Avengers 4, and people are speculating that she may actually be playing a protege to the character of Hawkeye, and that he also might be getting a spin-off TV show with this protege.
Okay.
So in the comic books, I don't remember her name. I think it's something Bishop. Hawkeye actually does end up passing the mantle to a younger girl, and she then becomes the new Hawkeye. He goes Ronin. It actually happens after he dies. I'm explaining it horribly and in a different order. But that's essentially the point I'm trying to make is
Kate
that
Bishop.
Kate Bishop. There we go. And that the mantle of Hawkeye does get passed on to a younger girl. So I mean,
That sounds awesome.
I would be okay to see that.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see how the first episode or two goes, but that does sound really fun.
Still
for sure.
rumored though.
Well,
She's confirmed to be in Avengers 4, I think.
that sounds fun.
But what her role is all
She
speculation.
might be a janitor. For
Yeah, exactly.
But Kate Bishop is part of like the cast list.
No,
Oh,
that's what I mean.
okay,
But that's
I see.
it's all just the actress being cast in the movie. That's confirmed, but everything else is speculation.
Oh, okay, I see. That does sound awesome, though. I mean, it sounds like it could be a fun little show for sure. Does that mean that Jeremy Renner is out then?
Possibly. I mean,
He's pushing up there in age, but I mean,
he's getting kind of up there.
you got Samuel L. Jackson that's still in all those movies still too.
Does he really do
doesn't-
anything?
I was gonna say
That's true.
He
that's
just
true.
talks.
He had a
He doesn't
machine
need
gun
to do
scene in a
anything.
Suburban. That's about it.
Yeah,
Which was fucking dope.
It was awesome.
Which
Don't get me
it was a really
wrong.
cool scene.
That was tight as fuck. But even still, I mean, some go out to pasture. But that actually kind of relates to a future topic for today as well. Is there anything else you want to mention about that, though? It sounds fun.
I think that was about it.
Cool. All right. Well, there is a little bit of news in it. I guess I'll jump to something that relates to that, in my opinion, anyway. It does. So, for those that haven't heard, there is a confirmed flashback within Avengers 4. It was confirmed by the actor that plays Crossbones from Civil War and such like that as well. Was he also in Winter Soldier, or was that too early?
He was. Yes, he was.
Okay, thank you.
That's where that dope ass scene happened, right? Where he was in the elevator.
There were
Yeah.
a lot of cool scenes.
That was
there,
that
yes.
scene, right?
Yep.
That scene is so. Yeah, now you know.
When Captain America's like, so we're going to get the started?
No,
boys?
how
Or
he's
what are
like,
you
does
talking about?
anybody want to get out before
There
this
it
starts?
is. Oh, such an amazing scene.
That was a
to
great
have the
scene.
confidence to just go to say that to like a group of guys surrounding you. It's
God, that's such a good movie.
pretty fucking
Hey, it's one of the
awesome.
best. It just is.
I forgot about that scene. God damn.
That's really great.
But yes, confirmed by the actor that plays Crossbones. I forget his name, but that's how professional
It's
we
like
are
Frank
here.
Grillo or something like that.
Yeah, it's
Something-
double LO, something like that.
Oh, okay.
whatever.
Either way, but yeah, we are confirmed to have some flashbacks. So the idea of time traveling with a time stone seems like it possibly might not happen. This is just my opinion, because apparently flashbacks are a thing. But then again, we do have the whole barf technology that we've seen from also, was that Civil War as well? Where
That was Civil
where like
War.
de-aged Tony Stark and
Yep,
such like
that was Civil War.
Weird science Tony Stark, or Robert Downey, if you will.
Yeah.
God, so I mean, for all we
Pretty
know,
weird.
the thing is that the actor that plays Crossbones is saying, this is gonna be my last movie. I don't care about spoiling this little bit, and it's not that huge of a spoiler, really. Just the sense that a flashback will happen in the movie, not that big of a deal. But for him to say that there's a chance or a high chance that he's not going to be back in the movies, he could either be trying to bait us into believing that. Or if he does truly believe that, I mean, we've seen a lot of de-aging from the Star Wars universe of Disney and all the MCU of Disney as well. So for him to think that he's going to be out and about from the movies, I just kind of don't believe that. It's possible. I mean, he's not the biggest character in the MCU for sure. How do you guys feel about all that, though?
I really hope that time travel isn't a thing. it's kind of it's something of a comic book sin to use time travel to fix a problem.
So is bringing back characters that were once killed. But
Well, that's not really a sin. That's just kind of a staple. The motto is no one ever stays dead or some shit. I'm sure some nerd out there will correct me. There's an official line that people
RPG
use.
Java? Yeah.
yes, at PG Java, tweet us the line or tweet in the line.
Not us.
But it is a comic book faux pas, if you will, to use time travel to fix a problem. And I really hope they don't pull that over into the MCU. I would be very disappointed if that were the case.
So no dream sequence into time travel sequence into dream sequence?
Infinity War 1 was just Thanos' wet dream, essentially, I think. No.
That might be better. I might like that more so than outright time travel just to fix a problem. Like, honestly. I mean, if they do it right, maybe it can work, but just the thought of time travel being used to undo the snap
That would
spoiler,
be
I
kinda
guess.
dumb.
I don't like that. I don't like that idea.
I
And
would hope that
go
they
a
have
different
something
direction.
more clever
Exactly.
going on. Because, I mean,
The Soul Storm. Or the Soul Stone.
Soul Stone.
so bringing
perhaps.
everyone back to combat him one more time. If the gauntlet is in fact destroyed, because again, it kind of remained to be seen. But it did look damaged for sure after the snap. So with all the heroes there to take on Thanos after the gauntlet is potentially destroyed, then maybe they can overtake him
Peter
at that
Quill
point.
died, right?
He was
Yes.
one that turned
Okay,
ash. He
cool.
definitely
We
turned
might
ash.
win then, guys.
Not if they bring his ass back and
No.
punch him out of unconsciousness again. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, watch quick bit number 2 for that one. God damn it. 2 or 3, something like that.
Watch them all.
Just watch them all. They're quick and they're bits.
And they're bits.
And their bits. So
AJ,
yeah,
have I told you I like your bits?
you can touch them anytime you want. God damn. This is turning into a different kind of podcast.
Yeah,
Anyway.
let's stop recording for a few minutes. It'll only take a few minutes.
Bits everywhere.
Okay, so again, it is interesting to see that flashbacks, or at least a flashback, will be a part of the Avengers 4. We'll see how it's used and all that. I'm excited to see how it will be done. But let's move on. So, those of you that may be anime fans, I mean, I personally am an anime fan. I know John and Peter have watched their fair share of anime as well. Maybe
don't know what you're talking about.
Well, maybe not this one in particular, but I have read several volumes of the manga, which is My Hero Academia, Japanese Boku no Hero Academia. So there is.
Nerd.
I'm just saying what it is, baby.
fucking nerd.
Anyway, Legendary, a company that has been known in the past to do horror movies, and since then, pretty good, just mainstream movies in general. Legendary is confirmed to do a live action film of My Hero Academia. No word as to how many arcs that are going to be covering within this. Unfortunately, with anime movies going to live action, it does become a little bit of a problem, just because, you know, in a topic that we're going to have later on for our main topic of this episode, a lot gets condensed in a little bit of time, and not enough time, at least in my opinion.
Or they change things, or they add things, depending
To
on,
make things work.
Depending on how far out the manga is and how far out they need the movie
Yes.
to finish,
Yeah.
they will do that because they do that with anime.
Yeah, of course.
Compared to manga,
All the
sometimes the
time.
anime just goes so far out that they got to just come up with their own story.
Bleach, Naruto for...
Full Metal Alchemist, which is
Full
an
Metal
anime I'm a
Alchemist.
very huge fan of, the original
Love
as
that.
well as the remake.
Of
Never
course.
seen it.
Both
It's-
great.
they're both
I have
really
the Blu-rays. Borrow them, please.
Yes.
They're worth the time.
Watch Brotherhood. I think Brotherhood's
That's
better.
what I've
Brotherhood's
heard.
very good.
I do like the original for what it
Yes.
is, but the exact same that exact thing happened. Is the anime caught up to the manga very quickly, so they just kind of made everything up as they went, and then
So, would you say that the first half, the part that stuck
Is
true
great.
to the manga,
It's all good.
oh yeah,
it's just when it started doing its own
no,
thing?
it's still good.
It's
but
all
it's just
still good.
it just differs from the
It's
manga.
different ending.
Okay, I was going to ask
That's
a
all.
different story.
Still great ending,
Yes.
though, but yes.
Okay, I've
And
seen
then-
a couple of animes that have done that. I'm like, wait, this is different than the manga. What the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, sometimes they have their own interpretation, I guess, but at the same time, no, it should stick to the source material. Like, Peter, you've seen Brotherhood as well, though, right?
Yes.
Would you not say that, like, after, like, episode 5 to maybe 7, all of a sudden, it just becomes a completely different story than what you knew of Full Metal Alchemist, the original series?
In a very juicy way, yes, it does.
Right.
juicy.
Yes.
I
as
remember-
somebody who followed the original anime.
Yes, yeah, same.
Like from start to finish, and
Back in,
loved
like,
it all the way
2007,
through.
8.
And I put off Brotherhood for the longest time. I only
Oh.
just watched it for about a year ago. Yeah, I was just like, I watched the first like 3 or 4 episodes, and I'm just like, okay, I've seen all this before.
Yes,
what is this turning out?
exactly.
And then all of a sudden, there's just a switch, and everything is
A
different.
line in the sand is drawn,
Yeah,
and it is a
And
different
it's-
journey.
and it's. I think it's better for it. It explains a lot more than the original anime does.
I'll say this though, it was even more to enjoy because, again, like you said, I remember buying the first couple Blu-rays and being like, why did I spend this much money on the same exact story? And all of a sudden, like you said, when that change happens, it is stark.
Oh,
no
yeah.
pun intended, but it is a very different story at that point. But I do like the point that the fact that since you and I have both experienced both sides of the story, it is nice to know that I guess we got a little bit more of Full Metal Alchemist to love, though, because it is very different stories. So in a way, we kind of got to, I guess, experience two very different things that were both very good anyway.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed both of them. And to get back to the topic that you
Yes,
brought up,
yes.
And I'm going to go with what I know.
Please.
They do have a live-action version of Full Metal Alchemist, and it's fucking horrible.
Netflix, right?
Yes. And
Yeah.
it's awful.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I have not
Netflix
taken
original or
Don't
it's
do
on
it.
Netflix?
And it's a Netflix
It's a
original, if I'm not
Netflix
mistaken.
They did their own? Is
I
this-
believe so,
was
but
this
it's
after
Japanese
Death
made.
Note?
though,
I
if I'm
think
not
it's one of
mistaken.
those things where they just published it, like Netflix got the
Yeah.
rights,
And
and it was
then
made in Japan.
If
but
I'm
they-
not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
that sounds right.
It's god awful.
Has
I've
anybody
heard.
seen the Attack on Titan one?
No, there's
No.
like multiple parts to that, though, at
Is
least
it
two.
terrible? Is it good?
I heard it's not great, but that's just what I've heard.
So,
I haven't watched it
From
myself.
what I can tell, live-action animes are horrible.
But
Always.
let me ask
I
you
can't
guys
think of a
this
single
question.
good
What's
one.
up?
Do you think there will eventually, because it's only a matter of time before comic book movies are kind of done?
Yeah.
And anime will happen. It will have its time, maybe when we're a lot older.
Maybe.
And that being said, do you think it's just going to take like that one Iron Man anime movie to just kind of set that standard?
They're really going to have to work hard, because the thing is, what makes anime is the same thing that makes comic book stories in the sense that the special effects are what complement things. So per panel of manga as per panel of comic, you make spectacular what's the word I'm looking for? Just visions happen. Like each panel is so beautifully illustrated, and if you can't pull that off in live action, then you kind of lose the luster, at least that I think, that comics and manga can bring to life. And also, if the characters don't look like the characters that are animated, there's a problem. There's a reason why RDJ is accepted as Iron Man. Not only does he have the snarkiness that Tony has, but he also kind of looks like the character to a degree. And people just love him.
Middle-aged white man. I mean,
And maybe not the hardest thing to pull
Yeah,
off.
exactly.
Fair. But not everyone can be Tony Stark. You know what I mean? That's just my
Well,
opinion.
that's because of the actor. And then
Sure.
that's what I was going to say. You don't think right now James Gunn was just like, you know what? I'm going to do Top of Tig and Gurren Lagann? You don't think
I
that?
hope it would
You
happen.
don't think it would be good? Like, you don't think technology's already there to do it?
I think the technology is there because Transformers has proven that.
Oh my god! Don't bring that.
Hold on. I'm not gonna. I'm not saying the
Did you really
story.
just-
Where are we going? Where are we
Hear
going?
me out.
I'm
Hear
trying.
me
You're speaking
out.
nonsense.
Hold up, dog. So there is this situation. Transformers, I am not sticking up for their storylines whatsoever.
that's what I feel.
Whatsoever. But I will definitely say their special effects, like 85% of it, is a technical feat in and of itself. Really? I
You need
can't.
the transform noise. Optimus Prime ducks his head, and then some bullshit happens, and then I'm a truck. Like that doesn't. I don't.
You are a
I
truck.
think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. You can say what you will about the story. I will agree with you. Those storylines are bullshit, but the special effects themselves are really, really cool.
Yeah, I gotta agree with.
They're an amazing
they're
thing
pretty
to watch
good,
on
yeah.
Blu-ray and HD.
You just got to turn off your brain. It's like watching Pacific
Exactly.
Rim. You turn off
Turn
your
off-
brain.
watch the
and
anime
just accept
happen.
the fact that it's giant robots hitting each other.
Yes, and they happen to
I will
talk.
agree with you in the sense that the transforming wasn't that great. They should have showed a little bit more instead of
A little
just
more detail.
Instead of like
They do
fucking
in the
things
first one.
grinding.
like gears turning,
Yeah.
and then and then it just.
But
Happens.
just like the way it's done, just visually, the sound effects, noise, all that fun shit. It's good.
It's a very good thing, but it's just but then again,
It's a
Bumblebee looks
terrible
pretty
movie.
cool though.
Bumblebee looks great. I'm cautiously optimistic about that because I've been fooled in the past with these fucking Transformers movies.
Yeah.
First one I thought was okay. It was pretty good. I liked it. Whatever. Second one I saw, I hated it. Third one I saw again, I hated it even more. And each time they know what they're doing with this fucking promo. They know exactly what they're doing
Conspiracy
with the promos.
corner, here we
they're
go.
just like okay. Second one people didn't like it too much. Third one, was it the third one? What did
Sure.
what did they introduce in the third one?
I don't know.
The bots that were killing all of them. They had no side.
every single
they
one.
weren't Decepticons, and yet they weren't also Autobots. I
Okay,
don't know.
that whatever they pulled those in, and
There's
then
that many.
There's 4
Yep.
or 5 of them now.
and
yeah.
then and they just pull me in every single time. The last
They
one I
do,
saw
too.
was the dinosaur one. I was done with the
You
franchise
didn't see
at
last
that point.
night.
Then they brought the
I went
dinosaur.
to,
brought
I
the
went to
Dinobots.
IMAX by myself to see that last one.
That should tell you how well that would have gone over.
I didn't even bother inviting you guys.
Did you
I was
get
like, I'm going by myself.
Did you get to second base?
By myself, yes. Things happen in that theater I will not tell you about. Second
right.
base is as detailed as I'll get with it.
Okay, cool.
Just know it's a big bag of popcorn and AJ all by his lonesome in the front row.
Terrible.
I don't know. They brought the dinosaurs, the Dinobots, and I was like, maybe this one won't be shit. It was shit. And then they
pretty
tried to
ridiculous.
pull me in with the fucking King Arthur's court villain, and I
Right.
refused. I refused. I was like, I'm not falling for this anymore. But Bumblebee actually looks pretty fucking good.
It does,
and
I love
might
the lead
actually see
actress
that
for
one.
it too.
Yes.
she's always good. So we'll see. But anyway, yeah. Long story short, live action anime has yet to prove itself as a quality product. We'll see what happens with My Hero Academia because this is one shonen type anime / manga that has proven itself and has gotten a huge name for itself outside of Japan for good reason. I will stand up and say that standing up right now, literally, this anime / manga is actually worth your time to read through or to watch through, if you will. Hulu is streaming it constantly right now, as is Crunchyroll. You can also catch seasons on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken. I could be. Either way, My Hero Academia is definitely worth the read or watch, in my opinion.
They're not sponsoring this episode.
No,
by the
definitely
way.
not sponsored by Funimation or anything
But they
like that.
can
That would
be.
Yeah, yes.
Call us.
Hashtag
Call
could
us
be an ad.
Funimation.
Yes, please do. At STGeekPod
We will
at
do
gmail.com.
things. You tell us.
Yes, right? Send us bundles. We'll open them on camera, please. Up to YouTube. Anyway.
I will say that if any Legendary, I'm a big fan of a lot of the movies that they
they
make
do
and they
great
publish. I like the Hellboy movies.
Legion.
Legion was really good. I liked that one. So I think if anybody,
He named 3, by the way, guys. That's not many.
Not many.
there's more, but rule of three
Yeah,
comedy.
Sure.
So I think if anybody can do it, it's Legendary. I really hope they make this happen.
If they put enough time and care into the product and they have people working on it that actually, again, love and care about the subject matter, then they could probably
That's
do
all
it.
it takes. Just have people that are passionate about it.
Exactly. So, we'll and just plain talented at making movies. We'll see. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I hope it's great. I can't guarantee I'm going to go out and see it until I see trailer 1. That's what's going to be the deciding factor for me. Unless we all decide that it's something we have to see for the podcast.
No, we're going to watch it.
Okay.
Good or bad.
You heard it now.
I
John
watched
said
Evolution.
we're watching it.
I'm gonna
Dragon Ball Evolution.
I'll watch this one.
There you go. Future episode of STGeekPod. We're watching live action My Hero. Anyway, moving on. We do have another bit of news to talk about right now.
So much fucking news. Jesus Christ.
There is a little bit, pardon. But here we go. So we do have Bruce Wayne and Alfred Pennyworth included in the cast of the Joaquin Phoenix Joker film. What do you guys think?
I mean, I'm not too surprised, but from my understanding, the Bruce Wayne they hired was a kid.
Yes.
So,
I've heard that as well.
it's not Batman. So,
I'm hoping that maintains to be the thing because I was hoping for a Joker movie without Batman. I know that the first episode of this podcast, I did mention, will Joker be able to be that interesting without Batman as a true challenge to him? But I kind of just wanted to see, again, what they could pull off without it. And now that Bruce Wayne could potentially be a part of it, again, I mean, if he's only a kid, not that big of a deal.
Is this
But if
rumored
they
or
choose,
confirmed?
no, confirmed.
it's
He's
confirmed.
part of
Oh,
it.
shit.
Those
Kid,
characters
yeah.
are part of the cast.
Oh shit.
Yes.
Okay.
So if Alfred Pennyworth is a part of it, again, Bruce Wayne knew Alfred since he was a child, so that could just be a thing. And I believe Bruce Wayne's father is going to be a main character in that movie. So we'll see. We'll see. But again, what are your thoughts on that, Peter? You seem like you have a little bit in mind.
Yeah.
What's up?
I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, like I said the last time we talked about the Joker origin story movie, like, I mean, if they can really do anything. They can really do anything that they want, and if it works, it works. But I don't know how I feel about Alfred, and I don't know how I feel about them addressing the Wayne family
Yes.
in this this Joker origin movie that is it not going to have Batman like that? I don't know.
well, I mean, if they do have Batman, it would make no sense because then he would be like fucking a 70-year-old Joker. Unless they're going to do that whole, there's different Jokers who are taking, the identity, then that would make sense. But
I don't think they're gonna.
No, I don't think
they're gonna take that big of a risk.
Yeah.
That would
I
be
know.
interesting, but
there is another Joker in this universe. He's pretty great.
Oh God. Which
people
one
have
are we
told me.
talking about? Oh God. But
Fuck you, Jared Leto.
Oh God. Damn. Well, I mean, I do see that, but it's what you said, Peter, that's caught my ear in that they have the freedom to do whatever they want as this standalone project. So for them to bring in the Wayne family is a little disappointing, but for me, I'm hoping it's just that maybe it's mentioned Bruce Wayne's father talks to Bruce Wayne, and maybe he's like, oh, what's the problem, father? And he's like, oh, there's this guy Joker, he's ruining the city, and that's it. And maybe Alfred Pennyworth happens to be in the background of that scene, and that's it. And then it just goes back to more Joker shenanigans throughout the entire film. I'm hoping that's the case.
Just a little cameo.
It's just a quick cameo to show that, oh, it's the DC universe. Don't forget Batman is a part of this, even though it's the Joker. You know, just for people, something for people to connect with and grasp onto.
I just had a thought.
Please.
How interesting would it be if the Joker movie plays out as it is, without much of the Bruce Wayne family being involved? But what if the Joker actually leaves? Similar to how Batman did in Batman Begins. He kind of just goes away for like a couple decades or whatever, however long it is. And then the Joker just comes back. Like, people forget it. He's not the Joker yet per se. He goes off, does his own little tirade of terror, if you want to call it. And then that's how he becomes the Joker that we know, similar to how in Batman Begins, we see Batman go off on his own journey and become
I see what you're doing,
Batman.
and it's gonna full circle
They
to
all
the
alter
Dark
egos,
Knight.
so
Yeah. Well, I was saying
I see what you're saying. Okay, cool.
Clever.
Yes.
I didn't necessarily mean that exactly, but I'm not opposed to it either.
No, that does sound fun. At least it'd be like a cool little twist at the end, like, oh.
Right.
It's not gonna happen, but that'd be pretty crazy.
That would be pretty
I
cool.
really hope they don't tie it to the Dark
That's not
Knight,
gonna
but
happen.
I just
Doesn't
thought it
need
would be
to.
very cool, interesting for the character, and for him to have a similar journey that Batman does.
So you're saying he doesn't even get the Joker title in this movie? He's just a clown killing people.
or whatever he does.
And then they forget, because he's gone for so long that they kind of just forget who he is, and he comes back and it's like, oh shit. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, essentially.
They kind of look back at old files, Batman doing his detective shit, and be like, oh, it was
this guy.
that clown.
Yep,
Right,
it was
all
that guy.
along. I got you.
Okay.
My money is on some guy that's going to get the shit beaten out of him from Joaquin Phoenix is going to call him, "Hey Joker, what are you doing?" Something like that. And
like
that's how
almost-
that's how the word
I feel
Joker
like
is
that's
going to
almost
come
a
into
guarantee.
it. Yeah, exactly. But I think it's
Is it
interesting.
going to be Tom Hardy saying it? Because that's the accent you kind of had. That's the accent he had in Venom anyway.
Right? Hey, what are you doing? God damn it! It's possible. It's possible. We'll see. But yeah, I think it's interesting though. I don't think Bruce Wayne needs to be part of it at all. I'd be better off without it happening whatsoever. But since it's officially a thing,
You gotta
we'll see how it
accept
goes.
it, yeah.
We'll
Fuck
accept
your
it.
opinion.
I still, I hope this movie is what Logan is for Marvel. I really hope it is. I want it to be not only a revitalization, but something completely different.
And that movie was technically in a different universe.
Logan?
right?
Yeah.
Logan is.
Well, all of
it
the
is-
movies are kind of all
It is
over
part of
the
the
place.
X-Men canon, though, is it not?
There is no X-Men.
Well,
There's the same cast. There's the cast.
True, right?
feels like
they
every-
managed to keep the same people involved somehow.
Similar to the Fast and the Furious franchise, it feels like every new entry in the franchise is its own universe. Like they kind of forget about what happened in the last movie, and they just
Because
do their own.
they're not direct sequels. They're stories.
Yeah.
They're kind of doing what Marvel hasn't done, where
Yeah.
they don't really connect. They're just stories.
Yeah.
I never thought about it in that way.
Which
Wow.
is kind of, it makes it a little better and more acceptable.
I blew
think.
my own mind, guys. I think I'm done podcasting for
I need to go find
He's
myself.
going to go on a lone
I'm gonna go watch
journey.
the X-Men movies.
Right,
I'm probably gonna
goddamn.
come back with the same opinion though. They're pretty trash.
That will
Except
never
for First
change.
Class.
First
is
Class
great.
was amazing. Yeah,
It was a good time.
it was a first class movie, man.
No,
that
for
was
sure.
about it.
top of its class.
And I was kind of surprised by how good it was,
Oh
really.
yeah, I was expecting it to be horrible, but I still love First Class.
Great.
For you that's listening, if you'd like to hear like a commentary episode of us talking about that movie as it's being played, or just a review episode, let us know. Hit us up with STGeekPod@gmail.com or Twitter, Instagram, whatever. You can let us know, because that sounds like a fun idea. I would love to do that.
Yeah,
That's
haven't
a
seen
fun
it in a
movie to
while.
revisit. Exactly.
yeah.
Well, I mean, what you had Days of Future Past, Apocalypse, Phoenix is
More
coming,
like
Dark
Days
Phoenix
of
is
Future
coming
Trash.
as well.
Am I right?
Oh, but then
I just want you guys to know that you can @Peachy Chava.
Would you
once
stop?
again,
why?
we've never mentioned that
on why
handle
those
before.
movies are great. Please let him know.
You're right.
He will read every single message.
Everyone. And he'll bring it up in the following episode as well.
I'm sure I will.
He will. Okay. So, again, that'll about do it for that topic. So, I mean, now after the news is done, we'll move on to the main topic. Again, though, guys, if you want to contact us, you can always email us at stgeekpod@gmail.com. Also find us on Instagram and Twitter with @STGeekPod. If you want to do anything, hit us up. If you have any questions or topics you'd like to hear for future episodes, let us know. But Peter, what's our main topic for the week?
Okay, so with Castlevania Season 2 coming out on Netflix this past week, which is a franchise that I'm a big fan of, I was curious to hear everyone's thoughts on video game adaptations for movies and TV. I suppose I'll start by asking how many... have you guys seen the first season of the Castlevania anime on Netflix?
No, but I heard it is pretty impressive.
It is very short, but it's great. As I'm a very big Castlevania fan, as well as a mild fan of anime in general.
You were hype when the character was announced for Smash Bros. So
Okay,
yeah.
I'm so hype. I love Castlevania so much. And it not
He has
only
an Echo character too, doesn't he?
yes, he does. Richter Belmont.
Yes.
Probably my favorite Belmont. But it's not only a pretty solid anime. It's very short, like I said. I don't remember exactly how many episodes it is, but it's pretty short. It's a good anime, but it's also a really good adaptation of the of Castlevania. Not only there's a few gameplay mechanics. There's a part towards the end of the series where there's actually something of a platforming section.
Oh my god, they doomed it?
It's not quite like it's not quite as jarring as
I
that.
look forward to it. I want to see this now. How many episodes
God.
is the series? Like 8?
Something like it might even be less than that. I want to say it's 5.
So shorter than Stranger Things then. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
Also, it follows the story of, I think, it actually does follow a story in the Castlevania video game canon, which is, I believe, Rondo of Blood. I'm sure the listeners will correct me on how many ways I'm wrong.
At PG Chava.
At PG Chava.
He's bringing it upon himself now.
But it does follow a storyline that exists in the Castlevania video game canon, and it does a very good job of staying faithful to that. On top of showing off a little bit of the mechanics, I already mentioned the platforming-ish section. There's a part where they throw potions on the floor, similar to you do in the game. The classic whip chain.
I was going to ask, is there a whip?
It's. I love it.
What's
so
the noise?
much.
The whip noise. Give it to me.
Yeah.
It's whoopsh.
Oh,
Okay, it's a classic.
Classic.
oh that hurt.
From here. Oh.
Classic. So, in that same vein,
I didn't know I was going to get whipped during this podcast.
That's how we do it here at STGeek.
oh yeah,
Village.
hide your kids, hide your wives. So yeah, Castlevania Season 2.
Okay.
So what other video game adaptations are you a fan of? What others exist? Maybe some good, maybe some bad. Let's talk
Probably
about
mostly
them.
bad.
Mostly bad.
Bad, yeah.
All right, well, we pulled up a little web page on here. What are you going to say, John?
No, I was going to say Google is our best friend.
Google's our best friend right now. Thank you, billion-dollar industry. And so the first thing I see to my right is Resident Evil.
The franchise?
The film franchise
film
in general.
franchise, yeah.
I will say this. Resident Evil 4 is one of my favorite video games of all time. Resident Evil 5, while it wasn't maybe quite as... It didn't have the same vibe, that's for sure, but gameplay mechanic-wise, it was still very fun. The graphics were better.
It felt like a rehash of 4.
Yeah, essentially.
They didn't push the mold enough. It just felt like the same thing.
And that's what to be honest,
that bad?
even though I'm really excited for a
In my
Resident
opinion,
Evil
it was
2
boring
remake,
because of it.
yeah, I mean, it was more of an action game than a horror survival game, I feel.
Oh, okay.
I feel like Resident Evil 4 had a little more survival to it, and I just like the atmosphere of Resident Evil 4 a little better compared to 5, but I love the graphics of 5 regardless, for the PS3 and Xbox 360 back in the day. But of course, we all know Resident Evil 4 originally came out on the GameCube, which was a huge controversy at the time, and then turned into the PS2 after that. Oh, GameCube was
No, I
amazing.
know. I've heard it's great. I know.
It was fun. It was a huge part of my childhood.
You don't know. It was the secret goat.
I think
It
Dreamcast
was Secret Goat. Anyway, this isn't about Resident Evil
let's
4,
not get
though.
into that.
Yeah.
This is about the Resident Evil franchise being transitioned into film. And the first one, as a kid, when it first came out, I found it a little freaky, but looking back, it's a cringy piece of trash.
I gotta
I think
ask
they all
Adrian.
are.
I gotta ask the both of you.
Okay.
Please.
Watching it when you're older, Which one of you two paused it when you saw,
Little booby, little Jovovich
yeah.
booby.
I haven't seen it as an adult. I've only seen it when I was a
We'll
kid.
watch it.
I'm not gonna.
Get yourself a bag of
I'll tell you
popcorn.
that I paused it plenty of times as a child.
I was gonna
enough
say,
to carry over into my adult life.
I won't deny.
You're watching? Is
pausing
that
it
a
back
titty?
then.
You write down the time. I'll pause it later.
I'm sorry for you girls that are listening to this right now. But anyway, yes, no, for sure. An okay movie. It was nothing special. They had sequel. How many sequels
So
to that?
many.
Like
God,
5 or
so
6?
many.
So many, yeah.
Something like
6
that?
sounds right, but I wouldn't doubt it was 7.
Well, here's
don't
the
know.
interesting thing about the Resident Evil movie franchise is that from the very get-go, they went in a completely different direction.
Yeah, I'll give them that at least.
They started bringing in characters from the video games as the series progressed, but it originally started off its own thing. It had a few nods to some of the creatures. They had the zombie dogs, the
Nemesis.
lickers. Nemesis
matter.
came in the sequel, Resident Evil Apocalypse. But for the most part, it was very much its own thing. And financially, it did pretty well.
They made money.
They made money for the duration of their run. Quality wise, I enjoyed them. I actually did. I saw. I've seen the first 3.
I think I've
4.
only seen 3 or 4 tops.
The one where they kill Wesker in a boat. I think that's the last one I saw. Something like that. I don't remember. It doesn't matter.
As long as I think a great way of seeing it is if you don't acknowledge the fact that it was a video game and you just kind of go in
For like a fun
for what
action
it is,
horror kind of flick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a nice little twist. Like you said, action horror, which you don't see a lot of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was 3 or 4 the first one that was in 3D?
I forgot about that.
That was back when 3D was kind of I mean, it's still kind of
It's
a
still a
fad.
thing.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
still
a thing, but
Is that where the monster throws the axe and then it's coming at you?
Yes.
I don't remember this.
That was like 3 or 4.
That's when
one
they
of those.
introduced.
That was the last one I saw.
Yeah, the black guy, the bald one. You don't remember that? They introduced him in it. I don't know.
You're not thinking of Mike Epps, are you?
No, but
You're thinking of the guy from the first movie who they revived later?
He's in the second
oh,
or
he
third.
revived them.
Last one I saw
Maybe
was the
I'm thinking
fourth
of a
one.
different
Was the
character.
third one the desert one?
I think
There's
they.
one's the
I
desert
think
one.
they.
Okay, then I saw the fourth one. That was the last one I saw. That was
When
the
do
3D
they
movie.
introduce Chris? He's.
That's in the
Chris is
fourth
4,
one.
yes.
So I'm thinking that's when
That
it
was the last
3D.
one I saw.
Because
Yes,
I think
that
they.
is.
I think
It
that's
definitely
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Because I
That's
saw it
the
in
one.
3D and it was okay. It was okay.
Who was
okay,
the
it was
actor
fun.
who played Chris?
Some
I
dude.
don't
know. Some dude that's not in. That's not.
He shouldn't
A-list.
have done the movie.
I mean, he got paid. Yeah, exactly. That's what
yeah.
I'll
You do
fucking
whatever
star
you
those
can to get
movies.
paid, right?
Yep.
Exactly, I'll do it. I'll fucking suck the dick of whatever producer wants to give me a film.
And believe us, that's how we got on this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to deny that at all. All right, next up after that, we do have Silent Hill. This one, the webpage we're on shows the second one. Never saw that one, but I saw the first. And that's the one I actually liked. I was kind of spooked by that one personally.
I've never seen it.
I was about 17 or 18 when I saw that
How
one.
familiar are you with these video
not
game
actual
series?
video game
I know it's a video game.
Okay.
Never
moving
played
on.
the video game series, but loved the first one. The first movie. Did you guys see it?
As somebody who was a fan of the video game franchise.
Yeah, don't move on. Go ahead.
I loved both of those movies.
Oh, okay. I like the first one. I
the
never
second
saw
one,
the second.
I'll just say it. The second one's not good.
Okay.
But it's not.
Okay.
I'm not blind. It's not good.
Okay.
But I loved it because there's so many little nods to the video game series. It follows a similar storyline to Silent Hill 3, where it follows the character of Heather. I forget the last name. And there's just the monsters that they use are plucked right out of the video game. The music that they use is 100% plucked out
That
of the video
sounds
games,
fun.
and
That sounds fun.
the video games I have a very good score, at least that I think, that set the atmosphere of spooky and just kind of unnerving, but also soothing and relaxing in a weird way. It's very hard to explain.
Melancholy, it seems.
Yes, that's a good way of putting it.
Like comfort, but not too much.
Yes, comfort but uneasy at the same time.
Sure.
It's very good. So I not only love the franchise, but I love those two movies, even though I acknowledge that the second one is not good. First one's better than the second one, even though it's probably also not too great.
Looking back, it probably isn't that great, but again, I was 17 or 18 when I saw the first one. I remember the babies, the zombie babies, like freaked the fuck out of me when I was a kid, though. Like, they're all kind of crying and
forgot about
crawling
that part,
toward
yeah.
her slowly. That was kind of weird. Even Pyramid Head kind of had a little bit of suspense to him, a little bit. And again, it wasn't an amazing movie, but it was one of those thriller/action movies, horror for sure, that kind of just, I appreciated for the time. If I looked back and watched it now by myself, probably wouldn't be that scared. but who knows?
The strength of Silent Hill, both in the video games and in the movies, is that they don't fully explain everything. A lot of it is up to interpretation.
Oh, wow, okay.
So your imagination just kind of runs wild as to what is happening, why it's happening, and how it's happening. I love it. And I love it for that.
You're breaking my heart because I know that Silent Hills will never be a thing.
Yeah,
or
tell me about
PT
it.
for that matter.
Yep.
Are you familiar with PT, John?
Oh, yeah, the playable trailer?
Yes.
I played it. That shit was
You
scary.
played that?
Fuck yeah, I did. When they announced it.
I've never played it. I've watched many a Let's Play, but I've never played it myself.
And then they discontinued it or some shit
You
like
could
that.
no longer download it. Do you guys still have that on your PS4?
I know those PS4s are worth money.
They're worth.
They were for a while. That was they're not anymore.
I would pay at least $100 for a PS4 that had that right now. I'd pay $100.
Yeah, I definitely.
So the story is
I'm
Hideo
jealous.
Kojima was supposed to produce and his production company was supposed to make the Silent Hill, the next entry in the Silent Hill franchise, which I'm a big fan of Hideo Kojima's work as well. The Metal Gear franchise, I'm a huge fan of, so I was looking forward to PT, to Silent Hills, as it was actually called.
Norman Reedus.
Starring Norman Reedus.
Yeah.
Now he's in some weird game.
It was still by Kojima, though.
Which I'm still looking forward to, but it
looks crazy.
Will forever... There will forever be a hole in my heart where Silent Hills was supposed to be, because I was looking forward to that more so than I think I've ever been looking forward to a video game before. The franchise of Silent Hill done by Hideo Kojima was just a recipe for
insanity
in the most beautiful way.
If the demo was any inclination as to how it was going to go.
That demo I played for like 25 minutes and then I was done. I was like, I cannot do this anymore. I was done. And weren't people still figuring out more and more?
There was oh god,
little secrets everywhere in that game. Like you had to trial and error that demo so many times.
Certain time periods would do certain things.
If you looked at certain things but didn't look at other things,
you had to find little like pieces of a key or something. I don't remember. There was like little
and there was like secret rooms
also
everywhere too, right?
There was like triggers you had to do. You had to look at this thing at a certain time. You had to look at this picture, pick up this phone
the
call.
phone. Yes.
Like it was. God,
the fact
was
that people
so
would sit there and play, and
it's just a demo,
and exactly. I would not play the game. The demo scared me.
It was enough. It was enough, but I just wish they could have gone so much further. Like I wish we could have seen the full depth that Hideo Kojima wanted to go into, because that shit was insane.
Are there any other horror games that are like that? Like
to that level? I don't know. I played some scary games in my day.
Resident Evil 7 is actually very similar to PT,
where you get like random little girls coming up on your screen and scaring the shit out of you.
Resident Evil 7, I've heard scary
not necessarily.
shit about.
It's pretty scary, actually.
On PS4?
Xbox One? I play that, yeah.
Resident Evil 7 is
single player,
closest,
right?
Yes. Okay. I think is the closest thing to PT that we have as of this recording. I don't think it's nowhere near as PT is. Nowhere near as scary anyway. It's a different franchise. It does its own thing. It's fun, and it is scary.
Oh, you played it?
Yes, I played it all the way through. It is fun, and it is scary, but I still think PT could have done something for the horror survival franchise. And it's a shame that we will never get to see it.
It is a shame a little bit. I agree. But let alone, though, still a very great series. It's just sad to see that more wasn't seen from that. But again, this is not about how great the video games are. This is how good or
I know.
Is that what we're talking about?
the movie adaptations of those games are. So moving on, though, right next to Resident Evil, I do see Tomb Raider. I saw 1 and 2.
Angelina Jolie ones.
Go ahead and jump in, guys.
I mean, I'm gonna just say I was a kid when I watched that.
Titties.
Yeah,
Angelina Jolie looked great. That can't be
They knew
argued.
what they were doing. She knew what she was doing. I knew what I was doing. Well, a little bit, but
we all were aware of each other.
We all felt
and what
right.
we were all doing. We all felt right.
We all knew.
It's too bad the story and the games were just okay.
yeah, that movies were terrible.
Yeah.
The game was pretty fun.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Have you guys played the most recent ones by
They're
Square
good.
Enix
I
Crystal
played
Dynamics?
the first one, and it's great. I didn't get a chance to play the Rise
Rise
and then
is the second
Shadow.
one. I have not played Shadow, but I've played Tomb Raider and Rise of the Tomb Raider. Great games, as you said. Shadow I've not jumped on yet, but I want to. And I look forward to it. When I get some downtime after the semester of school, best believe I'm going to be jumping on that shit, because, the first two are great. I will say, though, my favorite parts about those games are kind of like the RPG elements, as far as upgrading your gear, choosing how you want Lara to be, whether she's more of like a weapon crafter, or if you want her to be more of like a scavenger and like get more loot. that depends on your play style. Oh, but really, the tomb raiding is the best part. I mean, go figure. The game is called Tomb Raider, but there's a lot of action.
I would hope so.
There's a lot of action sequences that are fun, and it's very strategy based as far as how you want to approach each situation. Do you want to be more stealthy, or do you want to just go in gung ho and guns blazing? The problem with going guns blazing is that you're a very fragile character, and if you're playing on like normal to harder difficulties, you might not be able to take very many bullets. Or shots, that is. But I do appreciate the games very much so. Unfortunately, the movie was not that great.
I heard the newer one's pretty decent, but I haven't seen it.
Oh, yeah, I heard it was good. I heard it's like a solid 7 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 or so. I wanted to see it, but my girlfriend and I just couldn't make the time to see it, unfortunately.
Would confused 13-year-old John... No,
you probably touch yourself.
Okay,
she's a very pretty girl that's been in other great movies for sure.
Okay,
who do they have playing?
I don't remember her name, but she was also in The Danish Girl. She plays the wife in The Danish Girl.
I have no idea what that is.
If I'm not mistaken, Eddie Redmayne, the lead actor in that film, won an Oscar for that film.
Interesting.
Very great movie.
Okay.
But again, we can watch that for a more classy episode of STGeek Podcast.
He's the
Fantastic Beasts.
He's the Fantastic.
Here as Theory of Everything.
Wait, no, not Flash. That's Ezra Miller. Why am I?
No.
They look very similar.
You're being racist right now.
I don't know. Eddie Redmayne, he's kind of a man crush of mine in a weird way, though. A very weird way.
That's not what this topic is about, AJ.
Oh, we're getting into it. AJ's man crush, topic 3. No,
I think we could have a podcast all on its own with all your man crushes.
Or everyone's man crushes. Don't just let alone mine. We got to do everyone's.
I got plenty. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, exactly. Nah, there's no point in that. There's no shame in that at all. All right, so Tomb Raider 1 and 2, rate them 1 out of 10. What do you guys think?
1. Whoa.
Damn.
2 for 2 big old titties.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, shit. Again, sorry to the female listeners. I'm so sorry. But no, yeah, she looked great in that movie. Even females would agree with that, I imagine.
I would think so. I just got to say this.
Please.
You skipped Tomb Raider to the next list.
Because they weren't worth mentioning.
You skipped the movie.
I skipped multiple movies.
I need to just point this one
Please.
out. The Mortal Kombat franchise, the 2 movies. Let me just say this right now. It's my least favorite fighting game. One of my least. But God damn it, that song, that theme song is the best. Yep.
Yeah,
it was a great techno.
Yeah.
They say the names of the characters.
It's a 1995 movie. You can only
It doesn't
get...
even rhyme. Luke Cage. It's in timing, but great. I mean, it's like a fighting game. Who cares about the story? Just you're watching
Peter
guys fight each
Chava.
other.
Yeah, it's okay. You know what? Honestly, I never grew up watching those movies.
No, you're a terrible.
I've only
person.
heard that they were cool. I've seen clips of them. Like I would, as a kid, I had HBO, so they would be on TV. But I was like, it looked a little cheesy. It looked cheesy for me as a kid.
I think
so
the first one is actually a pretty good adaptation of the video game.
Yeah.
I will say that.
It's faithful.
Yeah, it's pretty faithful, and the fighting scenes are actually pretty good for what they are. Little side note. Goro, who's the four-armed man,
my favorite
Mortal
character
Kombat
in the series when I was a kid.
He's he's like an animatronic /
Claymation
type character. And I will say that is one of the last movies that I think incorporated that before CGI kind of took over.
Sure.
Oh, wow.
And it's actually, that movie kind of holds a special place in my heart for that specifically, because you kind of get to see all these decades of people who mastered this craft
Stop
kind
motion.
of really show off their skills in that with that one character in that one movie.
If you think of it, we still have claymation stop motion from like Wallace and Gromit and shit to this day.
It still exists, but it's not. I mean,
He's saying it's at its peak.
I think it's at its peak.
Yeah,
That's one of the last times we saw something like that in such a major way.
Yeah, no, yeah, it has its own charm for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I used to watch, oh god, what was that like ancient Greek movie called from back then? Like Titans, or do you guys know what I'm talking about at all? No.
Clash of the Titans?
Clash of the Titans, yes.
Okay.
That was all claymation, like, monsters in those movies as well. Like, there was a Hydra and shit, and they used those techniques. But again, like you said, Mortal Kombat was one of the last huge movies with a decent budget to still use something like that. Star Wars used it, if I'm not mistaken, here and there as well, but not nearly as prevalently, only because I feel like, Star Wars was kind of ahead of its time, even though Mortal Kombat came out, like, decades after it.
At that point, I think Star Wars, the prequels came out several years later, because I think Mortal Kombat was
1995.
Yeah,
yes,
there we go.
1995 for Mortal Kombat.
So, I mean, again, it was everything was steering in the direction of CGI. Jurassic
Yes.
Park came out in the night
For better or worse, but Jurassic Park was one of the better ones.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank God.
So I don't know. It just holds us good or bad. It holds a special place in my heart for that alone, and also I think it does the video games justice.
Sure, I agree.
Second one, not so much. Second one's pretty shit.
Yeah, I didn't care for it at all. The bits I saw, anyway.
It's pretty terrible. I mean, you can have fun with it, but it's not good.
You can say that about any of these movies. Next up, we actually have Doom, starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
I've seen the
I
last.
saw that in theaters.
I've seen the last. God, I'm sorry. I've seen the last 15 minutes, and that's all I needed to know about this whole movie. I think I
saw
was
it
skimming
once,
through
yeah.
HBO.
Was that the
once.
first-person shooter part?
Yes.
Yeah,
That John
I was like,
alluded to
what
earlier.
is this?
Awful, so
bad.
That
How
was
do
the
you think
only
it's a
entertaining
great
part of
idea?
that movie for me.
What kind of drug are you on to sit there and be like, you know what? Let's fucking do it. They don't even say the idea. It's just three different guys like us. Just let's do it.
Right.
And then they just do it.
Have you guys ever seen the what is it called? What's that arcade shooter? The living House of the Dead.
House of the Dead, of course.
There's, there's a movie based on that.
Yes.
I forgot
that was a
about
terrible
that.
that's
horror flick.
worse than Doom.
They actually had clippings.
Yes,
of
they
them.
had clips
Yes,
of
they
the
did.
video
Oh my
game.
god, that
Isn't
movie
that
was
ridiculous? And that movie was in
awful.
theaters.
Yo, yeah.
It went to theaters.
Didn't they like escape to an island that ended up having more
Yeah,
zombies?
something
it's
like
pretty
that.
bad.
I wanted to see sequel at the time.
Oh.
I forgot about that. Wow.
It's a fun movie.
One
I'm
terrible
sure.
movie brought up a different terrible movie.
It's a chain reaction.
Yep.
Dear
Oh god,
God.
and there's so many. The list goes on.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Doom was just one of them, but just one of those bad examples. Need for Speed. Have you guys seen that one?
I have not.
No.
The one with Aaron Paul.
I'm gonna make it quick. It was just okay. I only
Okay.
saw part of it. Edge of Tomorrow doesn't count because that's based off an anime.
Angry Birds.
Angry Birds movie.
It's
Never
a,
saw
it's
it.
a video
seemed
game.
fun.
It was pretty funny.
I never saw it.
I saw
I've
like
never
the
seen it.
I seen the first half of it. Like I said, it's fun.
for Zach. You gonna make it?
Not
Well,
good enough
it's a
to
kids
watch.
movie. After a while, I'm like, oh,
Sure. I can only take these subtle adult jokes so long.
I need a beer. It's
enough.
simple as that.
All right, well, moving on then. How about Prince of Persia starring Jake Gyllenhaal?
Never saw it.
Never saw it?
Nope.
Saw it in theaters. It was fun, but ultimately forgettable.
Did he change time, or would he reverse
did
time?
change time, like in the climax of the film. He's like, "Oh, I'm turning to sand. This is bad CG," and then shit just happened.
Do
It
they,
was
I wonder
okay.
if do they
Improv
explain,
that.
or does it just happen?
No, they explain like
Okay.
they explain what the sands of time are and stuff. It's okay, but I this is a guy that I'm a guy that's never played the video games before. Always wanted to,
played
never
one.
taken the
I
time. And yeah, it was okay. It was all right. Nothing special. The characters, other than Jake Gyllenhaal being the prince, are mostly unforgettable. There's a cute girl in there. It's about it from a dude's perspective. How about Assassin's Creed from 2016?
Never seen it.
I've seen it. I saw it on a plane, which may not be the best way to see any movie, but
Yeah.
that's how I saw it. And
Thoughts?
fun fact, before I even get into my thoughts, is that the Assassin's Creed video game franchise is actually spawned off of the Prince of Persia franchise.
Oh.
The first Assassin's Creed was actually supposed to be a reimagining of the Prince of Persia franchise, but then they thought it was a little bit too different, so they made it its own
Trippy.
thing.
That's cool.
So it's kind of funny how they both have
Do
mediocre
they reverse
movies.
time in Assassin's Creed?
They do not.
No, but you go back in time digitally.
Yeah, I know about that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I saw it. It's starring... Who's Magneto? What's his name?
Sir Ian McKellen?
No,
the younger
the
version.
younger Magneto. What's his name? That guy.
Oh, Michael Fassbender.
There you go.
Fassbender.
I'm drawing a blank. So starring Michael Fassbender, the Assassin's Creed.
Yes.
I actually, excuse me. I actually didn't mind it.
I heard
I'm
it
a
was
pretty-
underwhelming.
It's
Yeah,
it's not
underwhelming
good.
mostly.
It's not great, but I thought it was okay. I thought it was fun. I liked the Assassin's Creed video games. For better or worse, I know a lot of people disagree with me. A lot of people don't like the sci-fi aspect that the Assassin's Creed games have, but I certainly enjoy it. And the movie, again, I saw it on a plane. So maybe not the best way to watch any movie, but I enjoyed it for what it was. It climax got a little bit weird and confusing and
Really?
didn't really make sense. But
Sounds like a bad climax.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
yeah, I mean,
Did you climax?
any climax is a good climax. If you really think about it, it's like pizza. Even when it's bad, it's pretty good.
It's pizza, dude.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
I don't know. I wouldn't recommend though. I'll say that.
Damn. Ultimately, a thumbs down from Peach Alpha. Okay, fair enough. All right, well, then next up, we do have Warcraft from 2016 as well. This one took me a while to see. I wanted to see it in theaters. I really did. Warcraft has always been a game series I've been interested in, but never really taken the time. I played the beta back in the day of World of Warcraft, and I played a little bit of Warcraft 3 as a kid. Again, never really stuck with me, but the art style I connect with. I guess a little bit, but there are bigger fans, of course, obviously.
That's what I'm saying. You're a Survivor. You didn't get hooked.
I float along the wayside. But I saw the movie. Have you guys seen it?
Nope.
Ultimately, it's okay.
It seems like it's okay.
The
seems
CG
like
is pretty good. CG,
Really?
they put the money
There was
into
a
that
lot.
alone. The budget went to straight CG being good.
It had a big budget.
Yeah, it had a great budget,
I know.
and it all went to CG. That's all. The acting, they actually had some decent actors in there. Who turns out to be the main villain. He's been in stuff like Lords of Dogtown, if I'm not mistaken. He's been in a bunch of other movies. He always plays like a kind of like a buzzed Caucasian, buzz cut, white Caucasian guy. I'll look up his name right now. Not that he has like a household name by any means, but he's a cool actor for that matter. Anyway, but ultimately, it's okay.
You
The
wouldn't recommend it?
action scenes are okay, but the climax action scene, underwhelming for sure.
Really?
Story is okay, but then it gets a little convoluted and a little uneasy to follow. It's not worth following at all, for that matter. So yeah, I have to say, ultimately, I mean, watch it, but don't expect much from it.
So
at
I've
all.
heard from people who actually enjoy, because
Please.
the World of Warcraft, or just Warcraft in general,
Ben Foster is the actor I'm thinking of, the villain. Go ahead.
never heard of them.
Sorry.
So Warcraft has a very, very deep and expansive lore.
Yes.
And I've heard that people who are actually more familiar with the lore actually enjoyed the movie. So it might be that from an outsider's perspective,
Yes.
we just don't know the end. Which is, in some ways, I respect a movie for doing something like that, for not holding the audience's hand,
Yes.
and just expecting you to know
Not
these
catering
things.
to the casuals.
general man.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, general
so
audience.
even though I've never seen it, that is what I've heard, and I respect the movie for that alone.
Yeah, sure. I'm just saying, as a movie, plainly a movie, B.
It's
Special
not
effects
bad.
are
I would
there.
leave class happy with the B. So.
Exactly. So, I mean, if you're looking for a good little fun movie to watch in HD on a Blu-ray or something like that, watch Warcraft. It's fun for that matter. Some of the characters you really do grow to care about, but story-wise, B at most. It's just okay. It's not. It's passable, I guess. So then after Warcraft in 2018, we had a couple movie adaptations of video games. We had Rampage starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson once again. Did you guys end up taking time to see that movie?
No.
Never saw it.
Wanted to see it because it looked
I
fun.
didn't even
It looked
wanna
like
watch
dumb
it.
It looks
fun.
fun.
It looked like dumb fun.
I mean, he's in it.
And I've heard
The Rock's in it.
I've listened to a review a few months ago when the movie was new, and it's pretty much what I heard. It's just dumb fun, and it leaves it open for a sequel. Apparently,
Why wouldn't it?
yeah, exactly. Why not make more
If it
money?
makes enough
'Cause
money, yeah,
it
why
made
not?
a little bit at least. I'm pretty sure it made at least a little bit. So yeah, it seemed like fun. The one thing I didn't like is that, have you guys ever played the Rampage movies as kids, or the games as kids?
Fuck yeah, I did.
okay, yeah.
Oh, that game
Oh,
was
yeah.
great.
I played it on like PS1 back in the day. All right, so 53% on Rotten Tomatoes, 6.2 on IMDb, but Google users, like everyone that's listening right now, 91%. So I mean, ultimately, general audience loves it, critics hate it. But that could be said about Venom as well, I guess, or any other movie for that matter.
People love The Rock.
Yeah, you know, he's
Bottom line.
Yeah.
he's a figure. It's actually a runtime of 1 hour 55 minutes. So they went all
bad,
out.
yeah.
They did a
It's
longer
actually a
runtime.
lot longer than I would have expected
At least I mean,
for a movie like that.
Rampage, for a game that doesn't have much story to it, they really went all out in trying to make a story, happen.
out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, which is commendable if it's done okay, but according to some of these ratings, maybe not. iTunes gave it 4 out of 5, so that's something. I don't know if that's picked by people that run iTunes or if that's by
Well,
the
you
audience.
figure people paid to rent it, so they wanted to see it, so they were gonna enjoy it.
I think it's probably worth a rent. I want to rent it eventually one
Don't
day.
do it.
I might.
I haven't seen it, and I'm gonna say don't do it.
It seemed okay. I just didn't like the way that they portrayed George. It just seems like I kind of like George as like a regular looking gorilla, and in this one it's like an albino gorilla that I guess it doesn't really get much bigger than the rest of the monsters from what I've heard. Kind of just seems weird. It seemed like a random excuse to make George slightly different, but for no reason at all.
I guess you needed a hero or some shit.
Yeah,
like I don't
yeah.
know.
Sure,
Because
a
in,
white knight, if
because
you
in the
will.
video games, there's again the very thin plot that there is that exists in the video games is that they're
From Area 51, right? They weren't being tested on.
I think they were humans that were being tested on, and then
really?
they turned into monsters.
I
think
they
that-
just attacked.
Yep.
Plot done.
I thought like Lizzie the lizard was like it was once an iguana and then had like an experiment put on it and then it became a giant.
Nope, they were
monster.
humans.
Oh, shit.
Maybe in later games
I was gonna say there are a
because I know
lot.
that there's
One
actually a
and
lot
two.
more.
Okay.
But I know in the earlier ones that they were humans and then they turned into monsters.
Gotcha. Okay, good clarification.
game.
I was unaware.
It gets
of that.
harder and
Very
harder
fun.
the more.
It does get harder and harder. I
It's
remember
like
that being really
100
fun.
levels or some shit like that.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It doesn't help that you can actually hurt your person that you're trying to be cooperative with.
Oh, I
as
thought
well.
that was hilarious.
It is fun.
all the damn time.
I would fuck around like that. Who was your guys' favorite character to play as? Did you have one?
The Godzilla Lizzie.
Lizzie?
Yeah,
Godzilla
Lizzie.
person,
Is that was that his name? Lizzie? I want to say it was.
I want to
yeah?
say it's Lizzie.
Yeah, Lizzie or
If we're
Izzy,
wrong,
something like that.
at Peachy Chava.
Yeah, at Java always. Hashtag feel the itch. He Peachy Chava gave you the itch.
Yeah, he did. He would continue if you need it.
I personally liked George was a little too vanilla for me.
Is it because he's white?
Yeah, or at least in the movie he is, right? No, I mean I like Lizzie for sure. I actually like the wolf a little bit as well.
I want
as
to say
well
his name
as
was Ralph.
Yes, that sounds right. And then
If I'm wrong, PG
Ruby
Java.
was the lobster, correct? In
I don't know
Rampage
that
2
one.
or 3?
I don't know that one.
I think the lobster name was Ruby. Again, at PG Chava on Twitter and
To
Instagram.
let him know, yes.
Yes, let him know. Anyway, so I think, unless you guys come up with any other ones, our potential last movie adaptation of a video game is Tomb Raider 2018. I believe we all three have not seen this movie either, right?
Nope.
I wanted to take time to see this one. I really did. I asked my girlfriend. She wanted to see it. Well, she wanted to see it because I wanted to see it. Let's be real. But only because I loved the Crystal Dynamic games so much.
Oh yeah.
The first two are really great. I've heard the third one is even more. Is the same as the first two, but again with raiding tombs, that's where the real gold is at because the puzzle
No
elements.
pun intended.
Well, it's just that the puzzle elements of the tombs are really really fun because it's challenging for sure to figure out. Some are easier than others. In the beginning of the game, you might be like, oh, raise the water to this level, that way you can reach the goal. But then they become progressively more challenging the further you get in the game. That's what made me fall in love with the new series of games for sure, and that's why I really wanted to see the new one. I mean, the actress, she's a good actress in general, but I heard again this movie is just so.
That's a shame.
Yeah, and any thoughts on it at all?
No.
No, not really. I like the games that this movie is based on,
Sure.
and it is
Young
one that
John liked Angelina Jolie's.
I don't blame
and
you.
it is a movie I wanted to see, but never got around to it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I feel you. Well, I mean, it obviously wasn't rated too well either. Rotten Tomatoes is an average of 51%, 6.4 out of 10 on IMDb.
I think 51% is great for a video game adaptation. Honestly,
That's not a bad case either. 88% of Google users liked it. 4.4 out of 5 on Facebook. So from what we're seeing, again, the audience is appreciating this more than high tier, well revered critics. You know what I mean?
Not us.
Those are yeah. Essentially, yeah. If you don't mind turning off your brain and just having fun watching a movie, this could be a movie to watch. And I want to give this movie my money too, at least the $5 it is to rent it on HD for a night. I'm down to do that. Right. But again, it ultimately was not a movie I had to see because Infinity War, I pre-ordered seats the night of to see that movie. I did not do the same for this movie, as did you guys apparently.
No.
right?
So there you go. Ultimately, looks like fun, but we'll see if we actually get around to seeing it. But please let us know on Twitter and Instagram. Also email us what your favorite video game to movie adaptations are. That way we can kind of debate it maybe in future episodes to come, if not the very next episode for that matter. If we feel like we want to do a little bit of housekeeping and, just bring up any little subjects that you happen to bring up, and we'll shout you out as well.
Yeah, cool. All right. So I think we were getting close to ending, but I don't think we can end a podcast about video game adaptations without mentioning the very first movie that was an adaptation of a video game, being Super Mario Brothers.
I thought you were going to say Street Fighter.
Nope.
As a kid, I really liked that
It was
movie.
the greatest movie
I
on the
liked
planet.
that movie a lot.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. That's Mario Brothers.
I will still like
shit.
that movie to this day. More out of irony, though. Like, the Goombas were fucking ugly as...
Oh, they're horrible.
Yeah.
Wait, were they Goombas or the Koopas? The turtle people. The Koopas or the turtle people? Were there Goombas in that movie?
I thought they called them Goombas. They called them Goombas?
They might have called them Goombas
I'm
for
gonna
all
look
I
it up
fucking
right
know.
now. You guys continue. I'll look it up in the meantime.
Continue talking about how terrible this movie is.
I mean, I love it. It's
I-
bad.
I
It's
thought it
very
was
bad,
fun.
but I love it. It's
Goomba.
so bad. So they call them Goombas?
oh my god, look at this bitch. This is a good movie, Peter.
That is a face, not even a mother.
Look at this. Look at this man's tongue.
That's King Koopa.
That's King
Oh
Koopa's
my
Bowser
God,
himself.
so
yeah.
gross.
That's before they called him Bowser, actually. Look at this GIF. I'm going to leave this running for the rest of the episode.
Oh, God.
Oh no.
We'll be sure to put that in the story. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
It'll be on a quick
STGeekPod.
Yep.
It'll be in something for sure. This GIF is haunting my dreams right
my
now.
God.
Yeah, his collar kind of. Speaking of Street Fighter, his collar kind of looks like the Shadowloo symbol.
Oh,
ironically
that's
enough.
actually not a bad call. This vision is going to haunt my dreams tonight. I've grown up with kids having the same teeth as that Goomba. Dear
Jesus
God.
Christ.
That is scary as shit.
Anyway, do you guys know the? Okay, so there's a funny story about why that movie was so terrible.
I have heard the story.
Go on.
Please
Yeah,
tell me.
So apparently, the production of the movie was just so all over the place that they were changing the script day to day to
didn't
day.
know that.
It
Wow.
got so much to the point to where John Leguizamo, who played Luigi, as
Yeah.
well as Bob Hoskins, who played Mario, didn't even bother reading the script anymore because they knew
you
by the next
serious?
day it would be completely different.
Terrible.
Who was the
Were
director?
they
by
drinking?
McGee?
Wasn't one of them a
I was gonna say it got so bad to the point to where they were drunk on set filming
you
this movie
serious?
because
Is that
that was
in
the
your- I had
only
no
way
idea.
they could have gotten through this movie. They were just like, I can't.
They were there for a paycheck, but it was so bad they had to drink.
Wow, that's so sad. Rocky Morton and Annabelle Jangle. They had two directors
Yep.
for that movie.
Yes, they did.
Yep.
Holy crap!
Look
I
at
know
the
I had-
budget, $48 million.
for back in the
Oh my
1993.
god, half of that went
That's
for
pretty
alcohol.
Dennis Hopper probably got in on that as well. King Koopa, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they all had a great time filming that. At least that they could say they got to be drunk at work every day. But yeah,
I'm sure they weren't happy about it.
Nah, probably not. But ultimately, I had a great time watching that movie as a kid.
I haven't seen it as an adult. My fond memories of this movie are as a kid, and I love it for that.
We really, really, really should watch that for a new episode of the podcast one day.
Jesus Christ.
Like, just review it, have fun, maybe even do a commentary. Again, if you who are listening want to hear a commentary
Don't make us do
or just
it.
a full episode dedicated to
Don't
Super
do it,
Mario Brothers
guys.
movie, hit us up
Don't hit us up.
at STGeekPod.
Don't
Let
do
us
it,
know.
guys.
Do you remember the? Do
Please.
you remember the boots, the spring boots they put
Oh
on to make
my
it
Yes.
fly? That's how they jump so
The-
high.
Yoshi was in it, guys. Yoshi.
I forgot the little Velociraptor. That's right.
Oh my God.
Who didn't look anything like Yoshi, but
Not
hey.
at all. They had bombs.
Yeah, the little wind-up bombs. That's
the
right. Little
wind-up
cute little ones that
bombs.
grew from the fungus.
Fucking
Where did the
terrible.
fungus even come from? Like that was never part
From
of
the
movie.
budget, my friend.
Yes, right.
I think it
We
was
have
like
$30 million up to spend. What should we put it on? Mushrooms everywhere. What the
fungus, fungus, all
Fungus,
over the
Right.
place.
They were on
Far
fungus.
as the eye could see.
But yeah, ultimately a pretty disappointing movie to today's standards. But again, as kids, we had a great time. Apparently, I thought I was gonna be the only one to say so.
Nope, I loved it. Not good, but I loved it.
Yes, very fun to capture our imagination. It's like, wow, this is a movie dedicated toward one of the first video games I ever played as a kid. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Like
same
going
here.
back to the NES and stuff like that. It was a cool little time to be a child, I would say, for sure. And I look forward to the new movie. I believe it's going to be by the same company that makes like Despicable Me and all
I
that.
forgot that was
The
a
live
thing.
action one.
Yes.
Or not live action, the animated one.
Whatever it's going to be. I believe it's going to be
Because they're also
CG,
making
yeah.
a Sonic the Hedgehog one.
Yep.
by the same company, right?
But
The Sonic is live action confirmed.
Oh, okay. Well, bits of live action.
Yeah, it's...
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
well-
the humans will probably be live action, but maybe CG Sonic for all we know.
Jim Carrey's going to be Eggman, right?
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
You're
That might be
absolutely right.
fun. We'll see. I'll watch it.
Jim
We
Carrey's
will
at a
watch
weird place in his career
and
right
then,
now.
have you guys seen Parks and Recs?
Of course.
Not enough.
John Raphael? He's going to be Sonic, I believe. He's going to be the voice.
Really?
Yeah. Sean Raphael
Anything I would know
Get back
from?
Jaleel White.
from Parks and Recs.
Anything else?
No, I don't know anything else. He's in DuckTales. I know he's a voice, but...
Okay.
Let's bring
I'll
back
look into it.
let's bring back the original Sonic voice, Jaleel White, from the animated
Yeah,
series
great
with about
voice
chili
for it.
dogs.
Oh, that
I'm
was
down
great.
that, right? All about the Jilla dogs.
So I just need to bring this up.
Yeah.
Peter was wrong about this being the very first superhero movie. I'm wrong on that video game movie.
Go on.
I just looked it up, and Double Dragons did come out in
Wow.
1987. I'm 100% correct about
Whereas
that.
Mario came out...
1993.
1993, yeah.
So
So
6 years
you're
later.
already wrong.
Damn.
I put my foot down that I'm right, but if I'm wrong, please at PG Chava.
I think I might know one that came out before that. When did the original Tron come out?
Tron's
old.
Oh, that was based off of a
Damn,
video game.
that's a video game.
Tron.
No, wasn't it a movie and then a video game?
No,
I
it was a
don't know
video game
about that.
beforehand.
The original Tron came out in '82.
Oh shit! So Peter's really wrong.
Yeah.
John's especially wrong. Fired.
Let's not doubt that. Let's not miss.
Let's not take away from how wrong John was. He was so confident that Peter was wrong. And he is correct, but he is also wrong.
But also wrong, exactly. So yeah, we do. Oh yeah, 1982. IMDb. Damn, there you go. 3.5 out of 5 stars. Not bad, I guess.
That movie was fucking awful, guys. I've seen that
the original?
movie.
You
Yeah.
seen it?
That
For the
was,
time, I heard
what
it was
the
legendary, though.
if you're on
like,
drugs, I,
which was
which was
a lot
the
of
time
people in
you-
the 80s were on drugs.
Exactly.
Yeah, cocaine
So
was a hell
yeah,
of a drug
you know
back
what?
in the
Watch
day.
it while you're on cocaine and then give
Right.
me your opinion. But
Listen
that
to
movie's
Depeche Mode
awful.
and watch some Tron. You'll enjoy yourself,
yeah.
I'm sure, apparently. 2010, again, fun to watch for CG purposes, but otherwise, an okay movie, I think, at best.
I liked it.
It was fun.
I liked it more than I think most people did.
No,
music
that movie-
was
I thought
great.
the movie was pretty good.
Music was
yeah.
spectacular.
Oh yeah, Daft Punk.
Daft Punk. Oh,
It's
God.
the reason they made a following album, but
It's the reason they
That's a whole other
revitalized
topic.
as a
That's a whole
band, I
other-
feel. Exactly. But ultimately, yeah, that was this episode of the podcast, guys. Again, if you ever have any topics or questions for future episodes that you want to get shouted out, hit us up at STGeekPod, Twitter and Instagram. Also, Gmail us with or just simply STGeekPod@gmail.com. Any parting words of knowledge from you guys? Lay us out, son.
John was more wrong than I was.
Amen.
definitely was.
Yep. Thank you for listening to another episode of Superfluous Tutu's Geek Pod. Thank you so much. Have a great one. Later.
Check.
Check, check, check.
Check your booty.